Director's Chat for 2024. We're just going to give it a couple of minutes and let people continue to log in. We have quite a few people that are coming in tonight. We will get started with our program.
We're still coming.
Yeah, we'll give it another minute and see if anybody else pops in, and then we will get started. See, there we go.
There's one. How's it look, Drew?
We're right at 69, so I think you can go ahead and start, Phil.
All right, we will do that. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first Director's Chat for summer camp season 2024. It's pretty exciting.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Phil Donovan. I'm the Vice President of Camping for the Daniel Webster Council. And want to thank you all for taking a little bit of time on Sunday night to start getting going on your planning for summer camp. It's always a good thing when we start this process. So it's good to see a good turnout tonight. We've got a couple of things that we want to share with you, but first I want to share introductions of our camp directors. First, Drew Radlewski, and most of you know Drew. Drew is the reservation director for Griswold Scout Reservation. He's been with us for a number of years, and he should be a familiar face to most everybody here. Maybe a less familiar face for everybody is Joe Conti. Joe is joining us as the camp director for Camp Carpenter, but he's no stranger to folks who have been at Camp Carpenter for a number of years either. Joe's been around for he started on the Camp Carpenter staff, I think 13 years ago, and he's been on staff for 9 of those 13 years. So he has been around. So we're really excited to have Joe come back to us as a camp director. So he's got some good things going on there. He's also a band director at Keene High, and so he's no stranger to working with youth either. So we've got 2 top-notch people at the helm of both of our camp properties, and we're excited to have both of them on board. I've got a couple of things I want to share with you in general, and then I'm sure you're going to have more specific questions. We'll go into breakout rooms right after I finish sharing with you some information. And if you've got some specific questions, the camp directors are probably the people who can help answer those. So if it's a general question about something I'm talking about, I'll be happy to answer those questions. Might want to just throw them into the chat area, and we'll get to all of your questions before we leave you tonight, one way or another. So one of the 3 of us will answer those questions for you. First off, I want to just mention Carter Lodge. I'm sure all of you have heard that we did have a fire at Carter Lodge, GSR. I think it was in early December. There has been 2 developments. Jay Gary has been, and others have been working with the insurance companies to make sure that we are well insured. And I can assure you that Carter Lodge will be rebuilt. We are fully covered, and we shouldn't have any problems there. And also, the other, I think it was last week, the executive committee approved a committee, a rebuilding committee for Carter Lodge. So those people will be looking at not only how to rebuild it, but how to rebuild it better than it was. And we're going to be taking a look at how we're going to be using the building. Maybe there's some things that we want to do differently with the building. So this committee of talented individuals is going to be doing that and leading up to the full replacement of Carter Lodge. It's possible that some of it might be usable this summer, but there's no promises there. I'm sure Drew will be able to provide additional information on how that impacts any programming that has usually taken place in that building. But just be assured that it is going to return to full use at some point in the near future. So I want to just go over with you. I try to do this every year. I want to share with you a little bit of background on how we set our camp fees each year. I think it's important to understand what goes into that process. And so I want to just take a few minutes and go over and talk about that. Let me pull up some slides for you here. So I hope that everybody see that? We good? Great. Excuse me. So we want to be able to talk about camp fees because it's a hot topic and everybody wants to know, early on, what our camp fees are going to be for the coming year. That process happens starting in about September, and it finishes with an executive board vote at its December meeting. We actually got it done a little bit earlier this year. We were able to vote on it a couple of weeks earlier than usual, but typically all of the scout camps everywhere follow that sort of process, and we're trying to get it camp fees done even earlier in the year to maybe help out with some planning that our units have. But here's our goal. We want to be in Daniel Webster Council, the camps of choice, both within and outside of Daniel Webster Council, and to be the future of Cub Scout and Scouts BSA camping in northern New England. And it's no secret that camps everywhere are struggling. Many of them have closed in the last couple of years. There's increasing financial pressures due to cost. Everybody is familiar with the inflation of the past couple of years, but even in non-inflation times, prices go up. We have pressure on salaries, food, all of our program supplies, insurance, utilities. All of those things have seen price increases in the past couple of years, which are somewhat unprecedented during my tenure here. So we have to deal with those. Standards compliance is ever more pressure on us because standards keep changing, and we have to make sure that all of our safety procedures are in compliance. Sometimes those cost us money. We also have fixed costs of operating camps. The camps are, they're both camp properties are with us year round, but we have 8 weeks, 5 in the case of Camp Carpenter, to raise as much money as we can to keep those camps in place throughout the year. So we have year-round costs with a short season, but we have fixed costs. We have variable costs. Variable cost changes the number of campers goes up or down. A couple of years ago, we built a model so that we understand the difference between fixed costs and variable costs, and we can work on setting our prices accordingly. Camps, and we're no exception, camps are coping by reducing program, coming up with shorter seasons, and deferred maintenance. So some of those things we do. We have shortened the season at Camp Carpenter. We've changed up a couple of things, and Joe and Drew will talk to those things, but Camp Carpenter and Camp Bell have seen a little bit changes in their seasons. We've not reduced programming though, and we have not deferred maintenance any more than we have in the past. We continue to offer quality programming at our camps, and in fact, we continue to add programming at our camps. As I just mentioned, seasons have been adjusted to reflect unit and family demand. We're trying to keep our weeks of camp fully subscribed. That's the best way from a programming standpoint, and it's the best way from a financial standpoint. But we also continue investing in programs and properties. We're not shying away from that, and I'm sure you'll hear more of that in the coming months. Some of our competition that we look at, other scout camps. There are others out there, not in the immediate area. There are fewer and fewer. We look at private camps. They have a pricing structure that is completely different from ours, and the fees that they charge are very much higher than ours. But we also compete with other activities, year-round sports now, skills day camps. You could go to soccer, basketball camp during the summer. But competing with summer jobs, kids want to earn some money, especially the older kids who want to buy a car and have a little bit of fun. And we have some internal competition, rising prices, things that we compete with, and perceptions of just camps. Sometimes there's negative perceptions around those, and the grass is always greener at another camp. So we face those challenges. But one thing that we always do, and we've taken this approach the last couple of years, our fees have to reflect the true cost of our camp operations. Doing anything less than that is danger, and that's what puts camps out of business, and that's not where we want to be. So how do we do that? Excuse me. We balance expense management and the quality of camp experience. If we could do everything, if money was not unlimited, we would do more. But we also know that we can't do more because money is a scarce resource. But what we do want to do is make sure that the money that we're spending is giving us the most bang. So in program, we continue to offer diverse program offerings at both camps, at both camp properties. Our supplies, we make sure that our program areas are well stocked and supplied. And one thing that we do every year at the end of camp, and we sit down and we look at the camp season, and we evaluate what went well, what could go better, and we come up with a strategy for improvement of our camps. Staffing is always a challenge, and hasn't gotten any better. Recruitment, it's hard to find quality staff. Our camp directors, I think, do a fine job at seeking those people out. But salaries in the last couple of years have been a particular challenge for us. A youth, a teenager can go out and get a job at the local grocery store or fast food place and make a lot of money. But there's nothing like being on camp staff, and we seek those people out. And but we've been trying to make a difference in our camp salaries, even though there are advantages to working in a summer camp over a fast food place. We want to make sure that our staff is especially in the key areas, are well compensated and they feel good about what they're doing. We do a competitive and market analysis. I mentioned that a little earlier. We look at what our competitors are doing. We look at the salaries that kids in our staff range, and key functions could make during the summer elsewhere. So we understand that. We do an internal cost structure analysis. We look at our fixed costs. We look at our variable costs. And then we look for efficiencies and how can we do these things better? Is there a way to use less energy in some of our buildings? Is there a way to offer the same level of programming, maybe with a few less people? So we're looking for those efficiencies all the time. And then lastly, we set our fees to sustainably support our operations and our goals. And so we project expenses based on last year's actual numbers, because we have those numbers. We can understand what goes into them. And then we project our revenues for the coming year based on realistic attendance estimates. Our attendance is not what it was a handful of years ago. And if we budgeted our revenue on false numbers, we would be coming up short and our fees would not reflect the true cost of doing business. So then we set our fees to meet revenue needs. We also look for joint marketing opportunities with other councils. Right now, we have a joint marketing opportunity with the Spirit of Adventure Council, and we have some others that are not quite as visible and quite as big. But we also, but we're always looking for those opportunities to bring more units into our camps, both in season and off season. And so we've had some luck doing that. The fuller we can keep our camps, if we can keep people in our camps all the time, that's the best thing that we can possibly do to keep pricing low. So let's go over, and I'm sure you've all seen this, but let's go over the 2024 camp fees a little bit. And I'll explain this. It looks like a lot of stuff on here, but it's actually fairly simple. At Camp Carpenter, the full cost of camp is $650. The early bird special is a $20. The early bird fee is a $20 discount. So from $650, if the fees are paid at the early date, it goes down to $630. The adventure card discount is $50. Now everybody in the Daniel Webster Council, every registered youth has an adventure card as part of the new program fee. So we take that into account because it's already been paid once, and we're not going to make you pay twice. So there's for people in the Daniel Webster Council and in the other councils where there is an adventure card, there's a $50 discount. So if you use that for everybody in the Daniel Webster Council and pay early, the fee is $580. Interestingly, when we did this analysis, most people did not take advantage of the adventure card in past years. So the people who did are that fee, that $580 fee at Camp Carpenter is not far off from where we were last year. And the GSR is even closer to where we were last year. So the full fee is $690. $670 with a discount for early bird, adventure card $640, so GSR is $620. So the people who use the adventure card in the past pay just a little bit more, a little bit less than those numbers. If you did not take advantage of the adventure card last year, you will be this year by default if you're in the Daniel Webster Council. The day camp fee is $340, and that's a few dollars more than it was last year. One of the things that we listened to last year, we heard some people in larger units talking about the adult fees. So in the past few years, we have given every unit 2 free adults. And then we had some larger units that had to pay for additional adults. And they were concerned that, well, we need to bring these people to make sure we're wrangling all of our scouts in the proper way. But you're making us pay for them. So what we did this year is we went to a tiered approach. So 1 through 14 scouts that come to camp with a unit, we get 2 adults free. 15 to 21, there's 3 free adults, and over 22 scouts, you get 4 free adults. Additional adults over those numbers are $240 at Camp Carpenter and $285 at GSR. So there's a whole bunch of numbers. I hope that's clear. If there are any questions about that, just throw them in the chat area. NYLT, this is a big program. Participants are at $445 this year, and adults on staff are $100. That the adults actually volunteering for a week, they're working hard, and they voluntarily pay $100 each for that privilege. And it basically covers their food and, well, part of their food anyway. One thing new this year is we're going to apply a late fee for payments that come in after May 31st at a rate of $25 per camper. We need to do this because we've had some challenges with units showing up at camp that haven't paid. And as a result, we also didn't know how many people they were bringing into camp with them. It causes some logistical challenges for us. So we're asking this year, make those payments by May 31st. And if you don't, it's going to cost $25 per camper more. Um, when people show up with more people, we've got to change our food numbers, and it's Drew will tell you it's a bit of a logistical nightmare to kind of do that. So hopefully we don't have to collect too many late fees. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute too. Our program fees at GSR, ATV, horses, and shotgun are all going to be at $40. Motorboating is going to stay level at $10 from last year. That's motorboating merit badge. We won't be running the speedboats this year. So what are some opportunities for scouts and scouters to get to camp without paying the full amount? Well, there are discount opportunities, as I just mentioned, the adventure cards and early bird discount. Pretty much everybody can take advantage of those two things. We have product sales opportunities: popcorn, camp cards, hike-a-thon, pancake mix, maple syrup. Those are product opportunities that the council provides to units. And as you know, we made some changes to that this year. So the units and scouts can keep most of the money that they generate through product sales and send themselves to camp. The council does provide camp scholarships. We give out each year tens of thousands of dollars, literally tens of thousands of dollars, for camp scholarships to make sure kids who need financial assistance can get to camp. But one thing that we're going to be looking for is also scouts who apply for camp scholarships. We're looking to their units to provide product sales opportunities to help themselves get to camp. And then we have council subsidies for the camp fee. The executive board and the council staff holds events and fundraisers every year and raises a lot of money. A lot of that goes towards camp, particularly as camp scholarships. And we have endowment draws each year that go towards subsidizing camp fees. And then, of course, a lot of units choose to do unit fundraising on their own to help out with their program opportunities for their kids. So there are ways of reducing. If we all work together, there's ways of reducing those fees to ensure that every scout can go to camp. And that's our goal. So why go to camp? Well, there's 1,000 reasons to go to camp. And you're all on this call because you believe in camp. But there's a lot of program opportunities for kids that they might not be able to get someplace else, and certainly not working in a fast food restaurant. They won't be able to do these kinds of things. We've got the farm, we've got waterfronts multiple waterfronts at all of the camps, welding and STEM opportunities, blacksmithing, Pirates Cove and Fort Friendship at Camp Carpenter. These are all great things great ways for kids to spend their summer and build lifelong memories. Joe and I were just talking before everybody joined us about 13 years ago, 11 years ago, we were just talking about a mutual friend who was actually Joe's tent mate when they were on a Camp Carpenter staff. And Joe hadn't heard from him in a while, so I was able to update him, and it brought back all kinds of great memories for Joe. So those things stay with us. And even more importantly, I think, is our scouts can learn responsibility by helping pay their own way. So I encourage you to offer those opportunities for them. It's an important value of scouting. Going to camp can lead to staff opportunities, and I've been on staff, Joe's been on staff, Drew's been on staff, and I think we can all tell you that it is a worthwhile activity to do. Kids who go to camp and get on staff, it's an incredible learning opportunity and experience for people. The camp staff gains independence. Imagine being away from your parents for a summer as a teenager. If you've not done that, you've missed out. You should have. because it's pretty awesome to be away, because you just learn how to be a little bit more independent and get away from mom and dad. And I like to think that we all want to play where we work and work where we play. And that's what camp staff can do. But just going to camp is a visual and a physical reminder of being part of something bigger. We all get kind of used to being in our units, whether it's a Cub Pack or a Scout troop, but there's a lot more out there. And that's why we have district camporees and Klondike derbies, because it is something bigger. And summer camp also reinforces that. There's something bigger out there. They get exposure to other scouts and units in the dining hall, in merit badge and program areas, campfires. And it reminds us when we're at camp that we have things in common, and that's what brings us together. We can talk about those things. So what can you do as unit leaders and people interested in unit camping? Now you understand how fees are determined. If you have any questions, again, please ask. You can talk about price versus value. I don't like to talk about price because everything is too expensive, but I like to look at value, and I encourage you to look at the value. Is there value to paying a camp fee? And what do you get back from that? For a week of summer camp, is there value there? And I would argue strongly that there is plenty of value there. And we all know that kids who go to camp stay in scouts. A good, strong outdoor program keeps kids in scouts, and that's what we all want to do. So please make the choice to make camp available to your scouts. Don't assume that it's too expensive or it's not going to be fun or it's going to rain too much. Don't assume that, because those things don't matter once you get to camp. So I'll leave you with this thought. Accept the camp challenge, seek solutions to the problems getting everybody there, and be a leader. And I'm going to leave you with that for now. So let me see if I can get back to seeing your faces here.
Excellent. Phil, we had one question. I don't know if either Joe or you can answer it, but it was, do we have the numbers for Tiger and adult partner fees for Carpenter?
Oh, yes, we do, but I'm not prepared to say what they are because I'll get it wrong. But yes, there is a number out there. Joe, do you happen to know it? I'm not sure you would either.
No, but if you don't, then I don't.
Yeah, we can get that for you. We will have that.
Excellent. So now I have just opened up breakout rooms. There should only be one breakout room tonight, and that'll be for Camp Carpenter. Everybody else for GSR will just stay right where you are. If anybody has a problem, please just let us know, and we will get you over to the Carpenter side. So please just hang on a couple of minutes, and let's get into our breakout rooms. Hanging in there for a minute, people. I'm just trying to get some people in the room, and we will get started. Bill, can you get over to Carpenter, or you need me to send you over?
I can do it, I believe. Yeah, I can do it.
All right, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and welcome
Hold on, excuse me, Drew. My name is Carla Gannon. I should be in Camp Carpenter, but I didn't get any breakout room, an option to choose a breakout room.
Same. I didn't either.
Yeah, Stephanie Wood, same, Camp Carpenter.
Leah DePippo, Camp Carpenter.
What?
Anybody else that I missed?
Sorry, Kathy Laundry, Camp Carpenter too.
Matt Powell, Camp Carpenter.
And me as well, Drew.
Sorry, folks, just hang in there with me. Anybody else that I'm missing?
Yeah,
Excellent.
sorry, Andrew Hook.
Andy Hook.
Matt Powell, Camp Carpenter also.
Done. That should be everybody. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Again, I am Drew Widlewski. Welcome to Griswold Scout Reservation's first camp directors chat of the 2024 season. It's been a long time since I've seen a few of you. Some of you I've just seen earlier today, Jane. And Amanda and everybody else who was up at camp. Had a few people. We had a full packed camp this past weekend. The past few weekends camp has been packed. GSR, we are ready for summer camp and we are ready to give you a bunch of information. So we're going to throw a bunch out at you. I know Phil had spoken about Carter Fire. I want to go a little bit more into detail with it and what it's going to look like for camp for us. As of right now, myself, Brian, Tim, and the rest of the council staff would love to see Carter Lodge fully rebuilt by June 1st for us to get in there for summer camp. Tim's face just turned bright red because he knows it's impossible to happen. That we will be able to get to the entire building up and running. So it was an electrical fire, and we lost the entire leaders lounge, as well as pretty much everything from the kitchen down to the leaders lounge. A lot of that went through the roof lines, went through the trusses. Once that happens, roofs have to be replaced, trusses have to be replaced. It's going to be a long, long process for the back end. We're hoping that the front end, so the original Fleedham room and Bellside at Carter, all it will have to do is be stripped down to studs and then sprayed and possibly rebuilt. We're hoping that's possible. That might happen for summer camp. We just do not know. So what do we have in place of that for summer camp this year if we do not have Carter Lodge? So there's a few different things that we have, and we've talked about it with different committees and different people. So first things first is where do we send our adult leaders who need to do work and stuff like that? That's a huge concern to us because we know as times have changed, adult leaders have to do some work while they're at camp, and we completely understand that. With Bell not opening, and we'll get into it as far as the Bell Hill not opening, we will have the Bell administration building open for adult leaders if they need to go over and do work and stuff. We will set up desks and tables, air conditioning, and making it as comfortable as possible over there. We could run our shuttle buses back and forth. You can drive back and forth over to the Bell administration building. We just thought that we would give that to you. The second thing that we're bringing in, I'm sure some of you know how the jamboree's on. They have those shower and bathroom trailers, the big, like they pull them in on a 18 and stuff. So they are talking about bringing 2 of those in. So those will be showers. So this way it will replace the showers that we had in Carter Lodge. So this way adults have a different place to go shower than what the kids normally do. So those are the things that we have put there. Let's talk about Tuesday. What happens on Tuesday night? Scott, you want to tell me? Scoutmaster Supper. How are we going to do steak dinner in a burnt down building? I don't really think we're going to be able to do a steak dinner. So we've had discussions about that as well. So what Phil and I have come up with, we have thought of doing Scoutmaster Supper on Tuesday evening still, but we're thinking about doing it down at Main Waterfront and doing like burgers and hot dogs, and better burgers and hot dogs, not horrible burgers and hot dogs, right? Not hockey pucks or anything like that. So some better hamburgers and hot dogs. Have some picnic tables and some tops set up for us, and kind of just a all get together, eat together, chat together, and go over a bunch of different things and not be so formal and everything else like that. So that's what we're thinking about doing for this year's Scoutmaster Supper. If for some reason the Freedom side is open, then we will go right back in there, but we just don't know where it's going to be at that point in time. So that's where our Scoutmaster Suppers will be. I know what they're talking about, renting a circus tent and putting that someplace. We do have to worry about those types of things. Weather related, right? We would put them in Gilbert and inside of Carter Lodge. Obviously everything would go into Gilbert. Everybody will go into Gilbert. We could fit everybody in Gilbert. That's not a problem. It was just nice that we were able to split apart. And if we really had to, we could bus over to the Bell Administration Building, but I don't think we would need that. We're pretty good with the weather and how we adjust everything and how we get them in. And, we're usually pretty quick, and it's usually everybody's inside singing before the storm even comes a mile or two within us. I'm sorry, 1 second. I gotta change some more people's rooms. All right, just made someone a co-host to help us with the people that are in the wrong room. I'm sorry. So again, we're gonna have carports, we'll have tops, we're gonna probably do a circus tent someplace on camp for just other areas since we don't have Carter anymore. We know that handicraft was in Carter and it was going to be in Carter again this year. But here's the cool thing about about handicraft is we already have everything is in motion to build the handicraft pavilion. And that will happen in August as soon as we leave camp. More than likely, we'll have the foundation already put in place, so the concrete will be spread and put in. And that's going to go right next to Carter Lodge, down where the volleyball courts is. We thought it would be nicer to put it down there, easier for us to put electricity, internet, and everything else that we need for the scouts, close to the bathrooms, for everybody. And it's just going to be a great spot and a great addition to camp as far as a building. It'll be kind of an outdoor pavilion. Some of you that have been to, I believe is it Hogue that has the pavilion, or is it the other camp? I always forget which camp it is. Tim, can you help me? But one of the camps that we own, we have a pretty big pavilion. It's really beautiful. That the Timber Frame Guild came in and built it for us, and they're doing the same for us for handicraft. So we're pretty excited about that. The thing is with that, we'll never have to move program supplies again because it'll have its own storage. And it's opportunity for off-season programming for handicraft. So we're pretty excited about that. I know Jay was trying to be in touch with them to see if possibly they can have it built before summer camp. Things are all up in the air. It's possible that could happen, but we just don't know. But we know definitely we have it on the books for August. So that's for handicraft for Carter Lodge. Let's talk about the cool stuff. Many of you that I've seen my face before have known I've spewed millions of times about getting a new registration system and getting new systems for our. I see smiles, I see laughs. I'm not laughing. This is 6 years now that I've been asking for it. Finally, we have new systems. We are going into the registration system. It is called Black Pug. We have access to it. I have my first meeting with them on Tuesday. When I tell you that you all will be super ecstatic and happy on how easily usable and user-friendly it is, and app-based, and can be done off your phones and everything. It's just going to be a tremendous thing for us at camp, and a tremendous tool for you all. Has a lot of for registration, everything we'll be able to put into it. On top of Black Pug, we are also going to Camp Docs for our med forms. Cool things about Camp Docs and Black Pug, they talk to each other. Leaders will get lists of what parents have already updated and what med forms are in there. So, and a parent cannot upload anything until the entire med form is complete. Scoutmaster or whoever's in charge of med forms will be able to go into Camp Docs and see, okay, Johnny Scout has his med form complete. Jane Scout, she does not. And you'll be able to have that list and access to that list all the way up to camp. So it's going to make that process so much easier for our leaders and for staff, for the nurses, for the EMTs, everybody that we have. And again, those rosters they all talk to each other with Black Pug and Camp Docs. They talk to each other. The other thing with Black Pug is when you come out of camp, you hit one button, it automatically upload to Scoutbook with all the advancement, all of our calendars, all of the schedules will go through that system as well as in coming in September, all of our off-season rentals. So when you're trying to rent Carter Lodge or anything at camp, and it's such a horrible thing to do and try to make it happen, we will have our own system in place and all come to us. So it'll be fantastic on that end. I will get to questions at the end. My guess if the leaders will be able to upload forms for their youth or individual families have to do it. You could do it either way. We have set that for Camp Docs where if you either want the parents to do it or if the unit wants to do it. Same thing with Black Pug is that the unit leaders will have access to Black Pug as well as parent portals. And it'll be up to the Scoutmaster whether or not you want the parents to pay or if you would rather pay for the troop itself. But that is something that you will decide as the Scoutmaster committee chair, whoever is going to do it that way with Black Pug. Again, Black Pug has been around for, I think they came around in 2012 is when they first started. It was built by camp directors and reservation directors like myself, and they've been very popular and very good. Again, we have been asking for this system forever. We've had Taiwan, who has done nothing but the greatest possible thing that he could possibly do for us for the past few years, and we couldn't thank him enough, and we have a ton of things for him. But it's been about time the council actually put some money forth and for us to do it to a system that's been built, that's been there, it's been tried and proven, and been built by camp directors like myself. So we're really excited to get those things out. You guys will be really excited about it. We're hoping mid-February registration will open. Again, I have my first 2 meetings. I have one Wednesday, Thursday. I've sent them our schedules already, our pay scales, everything, have all that again. So it's pretty much going to give us our trainings on how we put this out, how we give it to everybody, how we load our rosters from last year, and get that in. If you do have a Black Pug account with your unit from another council, let's say, all you have to do is log in with your Black Pug account and you'll be able to upload everything right through there. So it makes it even easier for that. So we're really, really excited about Black Pug and Camp Docs. Let's go into program a little bit in Camp Bell and Hidden Valley. So a lot of you, I've heard a lot of rumors everywhere. Oh, why is Bell closing? Why isn't the Bell Hill opening? Is it because of the accident? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? I will tell you right now, is nothing has to do with anything with the accident. Camp Bell over the past 3 years with our attendance and with membership throughout the council, we had to make a decision. And the decision was either I'm hiring another 20 people to run Bell or we're not going to hire another 20 additional people to run Bell. Our numbers have gone lower and lower and lower. The original reason for Camp Bell to be open in 2000 was because we had 4,000 scouts running through the reservation during 2000. Last year, we had 1,600. We were down 200 scouts from the year prior. And it's been a common curve that we just keep going down and down and down. So we decided that this year, the council, that we would close the Bell Hill and still offer the horsemanship program for full day activities, offer ATVs for full day activities, offer logging camp full day activities, and blacksmithing, Foxfire for full day activities. We might add 1 or 2 more in there depending on how big it gets or how big the weeks get on troops and who wants to do those activities. Because remember, we can only do 8 scouts on ATVs. We can only do 8 to 10 scouts on horses. Logging camp, we could go a little bit higher. Blacksmithing, it all depends on forges and what we have. So there's usually a number cap on that. So we had decided we will close the Bell Hill for the year and see how it goes. MYLT will be at Valley week 1. So it's going to be a huge shift and change on everything for us. In the beginning, they were talking about bringing Camp Carpenter to GSR for the summer for 2 weeks. So Camp Carpenter is opening and that's going to happen and we're very happy about that. So, and that we are still having 8 weeks of camp at GSR. We'll just do it kind of, those of you that remember how we ran in COVID in 21, we bus kids over to the horses and to the ATVs. We have the 2 buses that'll do that. The thing with the buses, and how they've been waiting, the kids have been waiting for past couple of years. It'll be a little bit different because it'll just be the 8 kids going to ATVs. So that director will be waiting for those kids when they come in. And just take them right down and they'll have the van with them for the majority of the day unless we need it for something else. So those area directors will have it, the farm will have it, and logging camp, they'll get them up there. So we're pretty happy about that.
Excuse me, Drew. You have someone in the chat asking to move to Carpenter?
I got it.
Thank you.
I got it. I'll do the moving.
Thank you. I lost my sales. So 2021, we were talking about how it kind of ran. Schedule is not going to change too much. The kids have been doing this, the staff, the leadership team has been working a lot. They've been hiring a lot of kids. And they working around with the schedule a little bit. The schedule might change a little bit because we listened to a lot of things that the adult leaders had to say. Afternoon activities was one of the big things, that there wasn't enough travel time for the kids to get from, let's say, STEM to shooting sports. So they did build in some more time for them to run from one spot to the other. The other thing was lunch. We've heard a lot of things about lunch, whether they like the bag lunch, you don't like the bag lunch, staff, whether they like the bag lunch and don't like the bag lunch. They're still working on it, but it's looking like we're probably going to eat back in the hole again for lunch this year. We're not 100% sure on that yet, but as soon as we know for sure, we will put that out. Leaders guides. So leaders guide will be out this week and program guide will be out the week after. Everything will be in both of them with the scheduling, and stuff like that, with scheduling, pricing, everything that needs to be done. Things that we will be doing and that we got money for, which is pretty exciting. Who remembers the cowboy action shoot that we were doing for the past couple of years? We now we built a range for cowboy action. Very exciting to do. We had a donation that came in. We have a platform going in. There will be, it's just gonna be awesome. There's gonna be the saloon doors that open. The kids will be able to try each one of them. The adults will be able to try it. We'll have wanted posters of our staff members all around it and stuff. It's gonna be really exciting. We're really stoked and can't wait to happen. I can't wait to see a wanted poster of Tim and a wanted poster of Tom and all those guys and gals up in shooting sports. They're really excited about that. The other thing is with shooting sports, we'll also have the retrieval system on rifle. We don't know what that looks like yet. We're still working on it, but we do have the money to put a retrieval system in rifle so that the kids will never have to go down range again. That kind of takes some safety things off of our plate when we don't have to have the kids go down range, but it also takes away, gives the kids more time in their seats shooting. So we're kind of excited about getting that done. The entire Sunset Strip. So you're talking to Namanuka, Pemi, Squamscott, I think. All of those will have brand new platforms this year. So we got the approval for money. So just like Saco, Bewley, Pioneer had all brand new platforms that are all put into place. We have the money to do the entire Sunset Strip. A good friend, Tim Hayes, again, who I'll keep going to, will be in the shop. If anybody has some carpentry skills, you can reach out to him. He could use some help. I'll be there helping, making some platforms. We have 30 right now to make, Phil, I think, Tim. It's a big amount of platforms that we have to do, and then putting them in is going to be a big one. So that's some pretty cool stuff. Cots. I don't even know. I haven't even been in a position at Danny Webster Council since we bought cots, but I do have money to buy 120 new cots for GSR. So we're excited about that. So some new cots that are going to go in. Cope. We do have the other money to redo the Cope Tower. Cope and climbing will come together. They will run everything together. Cope will do still at the Cope course. Hopefully we'll have the new tower done. And if on rainy days and stuff like that, they will just bust them over to Camp Bell, and they could use the climbing barn for indoor climbing. So that's how that will work. STEM. So the STEM lab, where they do computers and they do robotics, has been less than a desirable spot. Terrible setup in there, and we just got a donation from a troop for us to change that. We will be replacing the floors, the walls, the lighting, windows, doors, putting desks in, and I'm hoping to get brand new computers for STEM for this year. So that's a pretty big room in there. We're going to have that done. A new big conference table in there for them to do robotics on. Just a lot of cool stuff. So we're really excited, and we really couldn't be happier to have this donation from this troop. All right, so that's new. Cope, we talked about STEM, handicraft, cowboy action shoots. Those are our new improvements. Black Pug and Camp Docs. So for February's chat, more than likely we will go into Black Pug and we will start doing this tutorials, there's videos that are already made that you all can watch. You can log on. Once we have everything we can start sending links out to everybody. We'll start putting links up on the website so this way you can get in and start learning how the system works and how easy it will be for us to use it on both ends. Same thing with Camp Docs. Camp Docs, I'm going to say, is going to come out the month after, so probably in March. And we'll go from there. Again, these systems are already built. It's not like we're building them from scratch. So we really are excited about all of that stuff. And with that, that's kind of everything that I have. I will go into questions right now because I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of questions, and then we will finish for the evening. So let me go back to my questions. So my guess, will leaders be able to upload med forms for the youth, or the individual families have to do that? Once I sit down with Camp Docs, I think it could go either way, just like Black Pug. Either the troop can handle it themselves, or you can do it to the individual parents. Will merit badge counselors at camp have access to the app to sign off as scouts? Yes, they will. So that's going to be a totally different system too. Everything uploads, even prerequisites, all of the advancement that we have to go through every year, it's automatically done in the system for us. They do it for us, so we don't have to do anything like that. In each, when you register for each advancement piece or each merit badge for the scout, prereqs will be there. You'll be able to click off that there's forms that need to be printed for the kids, like for shooting sports, or for ATVs, it has to be printed out, those waivers and stuff. It'll automatically be under those spots, so it'll be nice and easy and everything in one place. Should be no paper whatsoever that you all have to bring or have anything. It should all be digital. So that's where, so the staff will have access to it. They do grid sheets right out of the system. And the way that we want our area directors to work it off of Black Pug is that after their day is done, they're going in, checking off all the requirements that were done for the day, and that will be out for the Scoutmaster to look at that evening. So if we opt out that the families do payments, does the whole troop get penalized if individuals not pay on time, or just those scouts? It'll be just those scouts that did not pay, not the whole troop. It's an individual scout on the payments for late payments. Black Pug, I'm sorry, Jody, it's Black and Pug, PUG is what it is. Oh, thanks, Scott. Christina, for those of us without Black Pug accounts, are we supposed to create them? And if yes, how early can we do it? If not, will the council create them for us? So I will let you know on Tuesday. I know that we'll be able to take some of our rosters from last year and put it in, and put unit numbers and unit people into the system. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll know more on Tuesday, but as soon as we're able to open it, we will open it to everybody that is in our pre-registration system. Everybody will get emails, their access codes to get into the system. Michelle, you asked about lunch and what would probably back in the hall. The kids are so they're talking about a couple of different things. They're talking about doing bag lunch, but doing bag lunch in the hall type of a thing. But it's kind of like they'll get a bag that has carrots and a granola bar or chips or what have you, and then they could pick either a cold sandwich, or if they want a burger or a chicken sandwich or something warm. We're still in the talks. The kids are looking at it different ways. The biggest thing is trash, is what's coming out of it. There's too much trash that is being left around camp, and we're trying to alleviate that. That's where the biggest thing comes with lunch. I'd like to see the kids out in program areas eating their lunch out on the trail and stuff. But we also have to contain the trash and not have our staff worried about picking up trash and teaching their programs to the scouts that they do. So that's still up in the air, but once we have a decision, it'll be within the next few days. It'll be out in the leader's guide and the program guide on exactly what we're going to do for lunch. That's one thing I did not touch on. Patrol cooking. Patrol cooking will be available at Valley, and that's for any unit, whether if you're doing Bell programming, you're doing Valley programming. Patrol cooking will be available on the Valley side, just like it was in 21. MLT full price is $445. What is the adventure card price? I've got to imagine it's $395. I can find out for you on that, Brendan. I'm not 100% sure. Amanda, is that something that you know?
No, sir.
All right, Brendan, we'll get that answer to you about MYLT. I don't think Phil's in here with us anymore.
He's not.
Okay. If a troop does a bell day, how would that work with merit badge sessions? So as in just like in 21, how it'll end up having to be, and it'll be in the program guide. They wrote, the girls have been really good. So Tessa will be back as our program director, as well as Becca Bloja. So the two of them will take over the program aspect of the camp. And how they are doing it, if you're going to do bell programs, you're going to have to pick 2 days of bell programming. It's the only way that we'll be able to do it. If not, if it's just one day, say the kids just want to do ATVs and that's it, then possibly we had talked about they can make up the other day on Friday since we have open programming. So if they do ATVs on Monday, say Tuesday, they missed the first day of camping merit badge, they can make up whatever they missed on Monday on Friday. So we kind of think it'll work out in all different ways, whether if they want to do all 4 days of bell programming, the full day programming, they can. They want to do 1 day, they want to do 2 days. It should be wide open. It'll be well versed and explained in the program guide. The girls have been working very, very hard on it, and I'm super proud of them. Does that answer your question, Michelle?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. In light of the fatality list, summer, what are your plans to improve aquatic safety as they come in summer? The entire Bell waterfront is not opening. And we do not have that program will not be there. We have sat down with the aquatics committee. There's not a lot that we can say about it. We have been with the aquatics committee. There have been committees that have been brought up. And as well as that, there's a new NCAP procedure that every 5 years now we need to go through all of our risk assessment program areas. So that's something new. It's something that you didn't do every year. It was, we had Foxfire for 20 years, never been looked at again because we did it in 20 years. Now, every 5 years we have to do it. And last year we started with aquatics. So we had a committee that came together and put things together. Again, it was an accident. That's as far as I can go into it. It was a horrific accident. And that's as far as more as I can go. Everything that the BSA teaches and everything that we do with aquatics, everything comes out of the aquatic standards, everything comes out from NCAP, our national accredited program, all of that comes out of it. And that's what we follow. And that's what we have with that. I hope that answers your question. If you have anything else that you want to ask about that, you are more than welcome to contact Jay Gary. Anything else with the accident. Did you say ATV is available for all weeks at camp? Yes, they will be. Will there be in-site dining options? Yes, Bell, we already talked about that, Mike. You can do, we'll be able to do troll cooking in the sites. All weeks we'll be able to use Bell activities, yes. Mike asked about this. Leaders or parents can upload the med forms. Yes, so Christina, requesting specific campsites will be in Black Pug. And it goes a little bit further in Black Pug. It's going to actually show you what the campsite looks like, how the tents are. And what's going to help with the commission is for all of you that share sites is you'll get a map that shows you that, okay, these first 5 tents here are troop 333. These 3 tents here are troop 222, so forth and so forth. Because I know sometimes you had issues where a troop would show up early and then another troop would show and they had to adjust everything. That will all be out of the new system, and everything can be in there. I could ask Phil will so this whole chat is being recorded and will be put up either tomorrow or the day after. It's not, I recorded this time, everybody who remembers, I don't remember to record. I recorded. It's there and it automatically goes to the cloud. So it goes right to Tyler. Tyler more than likely will have it up tomorrow. I will not doubt that this will be up tomorrow. And I actually set up this year the Zoom meeting, so I know that we set it up correctly, that it automatically goes to the cloud. It's just really weird how it was in the past, but this will automatically go out. But if you want a copy of those slides for the month, I can get to Phil and we can get that out and I can post that up on the website. So Phil, you're going to make improvement to the troop photo prices. I haven't received the photos from the past 2 years of camp. Phil, why don't you shoot me an email? I'll put my email in the thing and we'll see if we can't find you. First of all, if we can't find your photos from the last 2 years. This year, I'm going to do exactly what Carpenter does. I am going to hire an outside company. They're going to come in and you will work with the outside company with your pictures. They'll be there on Sunday to take your pictures in a specific spot. You pay them and that will be that. Does that answer your question, Philip? Is McGee opening back up? No, not for 2024. Thank you, Scott. Okay, so Amanda had put out no discounts for MYLT. The price already reflects all the discounts, which is nice. They've been fighting the MYLT staff. Amanda, obviously, I keep saying is my wife. She is one of the course directors, her and Wendy Caban, and they've been fighting. Last year, they got MYLT to be cheaper last year, and they did it again this year. So yeah, so it's kind of really exciting that we'll be able to do that for everybody. So that's a deal with pictures. We want to go back into that unless we find someone that can do it for us. I doubt it. In the time that we have, it's just has not been easy for us. My email is now in the chat. Is there any questions that I missed from anybody? So if a troop is registered specific for a week at Bell, when the registration comes out, there is no specific Bell. Bell is gone. It is Hidden Valley, and those are programs for Hidden Valley, is the way it will be. So once a program goes in and everything is out, everybody's going to get the same email out of the pre-registration system. As soon as we go live with Blackhawk, I'm going to hit a button. Everybody whose email is in there, all of the registrations are going to go out. So correct. So if that's how the registration will work. And we will do our best to make sure that every kid gets every program that they want. I heard we lost the armory. Can you talk about that? Unfortunately, Mike, I cannot talk about that. We will have firearms for summer camp. That's the only thing that we can talk about with that. Any other questions, folks? Excellent. Again, I thank you. Usually we start these in usually we would start them in November, and I really wanted to start them, but they would not give me the information. I was not getting the registrations for our new registration system. So I told them, no, I'm not doing it until I have these things in place. I said, we have had adult leaders that have been asking us and tired of what we went through last year and the year before with registrations and everything else that we have to deal with. We need these things in place now. Phil was 100% behind me, and here we go. I have my access into Blackbug already. The council does too. So we're pretty excited about all of that. It's a huge win for us. Those of you that have been with me for a few years know I've been pushing for that, pushing for that. So, but we're gonna move forward, like I said, and as soon as it comes out, I gotta imagine by the 15th of February, somewhere in between there, check your emails, and we will automatically send out emails to everybody that is up and live and running, and you'll be able to go in and log in. Leaders guide again. Leaders guide should be out this week. Program guide should be out the following week, and we should be good to go. Jamie, did you go in and do a pre-registration on the website through Google Sheets? If you haven't, that's all you have to do is just go in there and just do your pre-registration for GSR, and you'll be in there. And with that, everybody, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. I love chatting with you all and love getting your scouts to camp and make sure everything is squared away. And this should be a really good summer. So everybody have a good night, and we will talk to you at the end of February. Our next meeting is the last Sunday of every month is how I have it. So our next meeting will be the 25th of February. So we will be there, and thank you, everybody, and have a great night. I will stay on for a couple of minutes. If anybody would like to chat or say anything, I am here.
Hey, Drew, can I ask you a quick question?
Oh.
Hi, so I'm new to this role, and I'm relatively new to the troops. So I don't know many things. That's why I may be asking silly questions. I apologize for that. But I have submitted the form for the pre-registration, and I asked Eric Lee, who was my predecessor, to submit the other one for Campbell, but I guess we don't need two, right? But anyways, I didn't get any email confirming that. I just want to make sure that this made to you, because the email didn't come to me saying, oh, the form has been submitted and received. That's
So
okay.
I have everything for your troop.
You do. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
I'm like Gloria. I'm kind of new too, so sorry for some very basic questions, but
Oh, you're fine.
where do we, how, you mentioned pre-registering, Gloria. What does that mean? Because I just have to register for the summer and to pick your week. Is there something else that to do first?
No, there should have been a spot on the nhscouting.org where you go into GSR and you could pre-register for your week at camp that you want. Is that what you're talking about that you've done?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't decided on the week. We've got conflicting schedules with some of our adult leaders, so we're still trying to work that out. Is that what you mean then when you said
Yep.
pre-register? Okay, then I'm good. And if I have questions, is there somebody to call? Because I don't want to take everybody else's time, but feels like I have a lot of questions.
Yep. So just shoot me an email. Take my email and I can call you back.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Nick, I didn't forget your patches. I swear to God. I have not. It's been a rough year. I have them sitting on my desk at camp. I just have to get them in the mail.
Totally okay.
23 was
That's all right. That's all right.
but I do have them and I have not forgotten you.
It's all right. Yeah, we have a court of honor coming up, so I'd love to pass them out if we
When's the
can.
Court of Honor?
That mid-February, I think.
I got to go back to camp tomorrow, Tuesday. I'll get them.
Okay. All right. I honestly forgot about them until someone reminded me and everything. I was like, oh yeah. So it's totally fine. All right.
Oh, sure, no problem. So Philip, Sunset Waterfront. Sunset Waterfront they drained Sunset about 8 feet. They're rebuilding the dam. So if you go to Sunset Waterfront right now, you can see out about 100 yards, nothing but rock. That lake won't be back for 2 years because they're rebuilding the dam. It's kind of weird looking at it when you go up there. It's like really creepy. It's like all mud and rock, like you used to see. It's pretty over there, but it's not there. Oh, anybody else I can answer some questions for?
Hi, Drew. It's Heidi. I just had questions on that Black Pug system. Are the Scoutmasters going to automatically be added, or do
Yes.
we need to go in and pretend to register? Because like we have a summer camp coordinator, you know what I mean? But really, the Scoutmaster should have access for the blue cards and stuff. So I don't know if that's
Heidi, I'll have more information on Tuesday exactly how that's going to work.
okay. I was just wondering because I didn't want to register us twice just to get in the system.
No,
you know
no,
what I
no,
mean?
you won't need to.
Okay, I was just
If
wondering.
somebody
So we have
understands, they're
access.
pretty easy, and I'm pretty sure what we have from Taiwan system last year, we can take that, put it over, and then you'll be able to go in and take out and put in. I think that's how we're going to be able to do it, to be honest with you.
Well, because it was good to keep track of the blue cards, like the status before we left camp, I found.
Yep.
Then we could talk to the merit badge counselors and get everything taken care of mostly before we left. So
No, my goal this year is the kids, so I'm buying not iPads, but tablets for them. Area director every day is going to that tablet and uploading all the advancement that happened that day. This system is very easy for all of us to use, especially it's more easier for you all, and that's the way it was built. For us, it's still gonna be 100 times easier than anything we ever had.
And
It's gonna be a lot different this year. It's gonna look a lot different, but it's gonna be a lot easier. And the goal is to have you'll be able to look at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night and know that your kids finished camping or finished basketry or what have you.
right, because sometimes they need reminders at summer camp. Don't forget you have requirement 3 left,
Right.
for the Friday. And if I don't have access, then it's hard to remind them. And then we'll be able to print the blue cards from there, or did I hear you say it's gonna be connected to Scout Book? Sorry, I came in a little
Automatically
late.
connects it right to one button, Heidi, goes right to Scout Book.
Oh, you just made my whole day.
And like I said, Camp Docs and Black Pug talk to each other. So
Oh, good.
rosters, everything will be exactly the same.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Drew,
Yes, sir.
could I ask please? First off, thank you for everything you do. You do a great job. Very much appreciated, as well as your staff. I got in a couple minutes late. Am I to understand our troop has traditionally done a week of Valley and a week of Bell? can our troops still do a week of Valley, usually our younger and middle-aged kids, and then Bell, even though it's at Valley?
Yes.
Do they just sign up as if they were doing a week of Bell and just look to do those activities?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you.
Anybody else? Awesome.